What we are going to demonstrate today is the recommended way to mix Soygreen with water as you are filling either your planter tank or the saddle tanks on your tractor. The first thing you will want to do is to determine how many acres you will be able to cover with the tank load of the finished mixed product. The minimum amount of water needed to properly put Soygreen into solution is a ratio of 2 gallons of water for each 1 pound of Soygreen. So, if you want 3 pounds of Soygreen per acre, you will need to put down a minimum of 6 gallons of water per acre. Now for the actual mixing process. We are going to put the Soygreen directly into a dry inductor, or cone if you are more familiar with that term. The inductor must sit directly over the hose from the water supply tank to the transfer pump. Do not make a slurry either in the inductor or a separate pail. Making a slurry has the potential for creating a pasty form of Soygreen that comes from exceeding our recommended ratio of 2 gallons of water for each 1 pound of Soygreen. Getting that pasty material into solution requires a great deal of agitation. Put in the proper amount of Soygreen into the inductor for the batch you are going to mix. If your inductor does not hold the total amount needed for the batch, just have the additional bags opened and sitting ready to dump into the inductor as the initial product goes into the system. Next, we will start the transfer pump and start moving water from the water supply tank to the planter tank. As soon as the transfer pump starts moving water, open the valve on the bottom of the inductor wide open, allowing the Soygreen to drop directly into the hose below the inductor. If you need more Soygreen than what the inductor can hold, now is the time to add the additional product you need. Notice how the Soygreen drops freely through the inductor into the hose below, allowing the transfer pump to put the Soygreen into solution. As the Soygreen hits the transfer pump, you will hear the motor start to labor down as the Soygreen is being broken down and put into solution by the impellers on the transfer pump. Now that you have your Soygreen properly mixed, you are ready to plant. You are now ready to prevent your iron chlorosis fields from robbing you of the yields you want, and your fields will look like this instead of this. When you are done planting your final field of soybeans, you will want to do a complete cleanout procedure on your application equipment. As you can see here in the inductor, the Soygreen is readily flushed off the equipment when an ample amount of water is used. You will need to provide more water flow in order to clean out the equipment completely. Here are some suggestions on how to do this easily and efficiently. Most of you have a red ball monitor system on your planter. The easiest way to clean out the red ball monitor is to remove the end cap and replace it with a threaded cap that has a garden hose attachment connected to it. Attach your garden hose to the fitting and flush your entire system out. This should flush out both the supply hose as well as the individual lines to each row. Next, remove the inline screen and canister body. As you can see, there is a small amount of residue of Soygreen in the bottom of the canister as well as in the screen itself. Flush both of these items with water. If the residue is not flushed out, it will dry in the canister body over summer and then may flake off next spring when you start planting corn or sugar beets. With all of the lines flushed out completely, you are now ready to winterize your system as you normally do.